Guys, let's begin with the Kansas City Chiefs. The reigning Super Bowl champs are looking to be the first team ever to three-peat. They made last season's championship-winning roster even better with key off-season additions, especially on offense, right? And for more now, we bring in Michele Steele. She's joining us from Kansas City. What, Michele, is Travis Kelce saying about how he feels heading into his 12th NFL season?
Yeah, Laura, it is an NFL Friday here in KC, and it's also Travis Kelce Day, always a big day. And you're right, 12th NFL season. That is a ton of mileage on that body. But despite having the lowest number of snaps last year that he's played in his NFL career since at least 2014, Travis Kelce told me that no coaches have approached him about potentially being on a snap count against the Ravens on Thursday night. He also added, even if they did, I probably wouldn't listen to him.
I just love coming in here, man. It's kind of, I mentioned St. Joe is my sanctuary. I just love football and how it takes me away from life, and it gives me something I can feel genuinely happy about. I enjoy coming in the building, working on my craft, getting to understand a new game plan and perfecting that for the people around me. It gives me a purpose to kind of go about my day and to live my life, and I have so much excitement doing it. It's exciting. It's the first game of the season. Everybody wants to come out and show how explosive they are, show how great or how much better they got from last year. Just going to be a great challenge for us. But I think everybody's just fired up to get out in front of Arrowhead and get this season started.
Fired up, he said that he feels physically great, which of course is a far cry from week 1 of 2023 when he didn't play in that game against the Lions because he had a knee injury. Now, this is of course a big national game. All the attention is going to be on the Chiefs and the Ravens. And if we know one thing about Travis Kelce, it's something about these big moments, right, where he's able to find another gear. And he told me when it comes to week 1, when it comes to the 2024 season, he is, quote, ready to rock. Laura?
I saw him with that ESPN hat, too. We like that.
Teammate!
Good job, Travis. The Chiefs had one of the worst wide receiving cores in the NFL last season. They had 25 drops, 7 more than the next closest team. Kansas City decided to make wholesale changes this offseason, trading up to draft Xavier Worthy in the first round and then bringing in Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. So they've made so many improvements on a team that already won the Super Bowl. Marcus, when you think about this, how do you think the wide receiver changes impact Kansas City, especially in a rematch with the Ravens?
Yeah, I thought about Andy Reid first, Boogie, and Dan can relate to this and the creativity with the speed that he has, but also not letting that speed take away from the fact that these guys are really polished wide receivers, Xavier Worthy especially. I know a lot of people got excited about his combine numbers and the things that he was able to do there. But more than just being a speed guy, he's in an offense where he's going to be used and space is going to be created for him regardless of how fast you are. And Marquise Brown as well, known as another speed guy, but true to their wide receiver roots. That is what I love about these additions. Obviously, we know that Travis Kelce will be man in the middle of the field, finding those one-on-ones and being huge in this passing game. But now you have significant speed, but you also have polished receivers. And I think that's something to pay attention to as the season goes along with Andy Reid and his creativity offensively and how he will deploy these guys being true wide receivers that just are out of their mind fast.
Patrick Mahomes has got a rookie protecting him at left tackle. That's probably a storyline that we haven't talked enough about this offseason. Could you imagine the pressure, the young man that they drafted out of BYU, Kingsley, Andy Reid and the creativity that Marcus is referencing and the speed, it's great. But they got to go into this game on Thursday night to kick off this season with a rookie at left tackle. And I know Patrick can mitigate it a little bit, but Patrick's a very unique quarterback to protect VAR because the amount of time that he's going to hold on to the football and the kind of the movement within the pocket. I think that's like a fascinating storyline for Thursday night is how much does Andy Reid think he has to protect him? Matt Nagy, their play caller, do they have to protect him? Can they cut him loose? How does he do? Tackles was a massive issue for this football team last year. We talked about how much they helped them, those offensive tackles. Now with the rookie, is it the same story, or do they kind of like take the Band-Aid off and hey, go protect again, or protect for the best quarterback in football.
We're going to have to pay attention to that for sure. And how does the Ravens defense come out with a bang with that? You think there's some pressure on Dallas this season? The Cowboys made the NFC Championship game in the 1995 season, which is also the last year they won the Super Bowl. They've now made 13 straight playoff appearances without reaching the conference championship. That's the longest streak by any franchise since conferences were created after the 1970 merger. Marcus, just go to you first here. The Cowboys have a tough first test against the talented Browns defense. How can Dallas get their season off to a good start on Sunday?
Pray. You can pray.
Oh.
Pray. You got to pray just to make it today. Listen, no. On a serious note, this has to be a play action based football team against obviously the Cleveland Browns. One, because of the pass rush. We know how dominant Myles Garrett is. You don't want to get into a straight drop back game with him. So between Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott, they have to find some semblance of balance, even though I know Dio hates that word. But if these guys get a beat on you and figure out or put you in the obvious passing situations, it's a recipe for disaster. And then two, Jake Ferguson is going to have to emerge in this offense. I know we've spent the whole offseason talking about CeeDee Lamb and his ability, and we know how good he is, but there has to be another key weapon for Dak Prescott when they talk about the passing game and pushing the ball downfield. We saw a lot of flashes and really good things from Jake Ferguson. He's going to have to continue to build on that and become an integral part of this offense, not only blocking in the run game, but pass catching as well.
Yeah, I completely agree, Marcus. And I think for the Dallas Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, obviously we know how important he is. And all the things that I said about Jamar Chase being late to the party also apply to CeeDee Lamb, just getting to camp and getting to practice. That being said, this offense is a systematic offense that their pass game all stems from what CeeDee Lamb does. It is very precise. It is dink and dunk, and it is choose your shots. You have to have a certain profile of player and pass catchers for this to work. The great part is CeeDee Lamb is perfect for that. The best thing that could have happened to the Cowboys, or I should say the silver lining that CeeDee Lamb brought to them by sitting out, was their ability to work Jake Ferguson, work Brandon Cooks, work Jalen Tolbert throughout camp to develop what is necessary outside of CeeDee. We know he is a given with his ability, and if you watched last year, too much early on, they relied on Michael Gallup. Once Brandon Cooks got into the offense, once Ferguson got a great feel for it, they were clicking on all cylinders. I actually think their offense takes a leap this year because of that. But to your point, they have to show up more consistently outside of what CeeDee Lamb brings to the table.
Yeah, Dan, quick comment. I got something else for you, but what do you think about what Hawk said?
I think Cleveland's defense has a massive advantage in this game. CeeDee's had the long holdout. They're as good at playing man coverage as anybody in ball. They got 4 cats on the back end that can play man coverage. They're going to focus a little bit on CeeDee, and they also have more than likely one of the best pass rushers in football going against the rookie. You're going to get Myles Garrett versus Guyton at left tackle and defensive end. So massive advantage Cleveland in that matchup.
All right, so what's the plan if you're Cleveland on the defensive side? How do you try to attack this?
I think the thing that was great about Cleveland's defense last year was how great they were at man coverage. Now, it started to get loose at the back end because teams would run a ton of crossers. And I think this whole offseason, they're going to prepare for that. They're going to make sure that in man coverage, it's going to be Denzel Ward more than likely on CeeDee Lamb. They can shade towards that area and then trust some of those other guys to handle a Brandon Cooks or Jalen Tolbert. I agree, Ferguson is going to be great. But here's the thing. Marcus, you know this. If they're going to have to help that rookie left tackle, Guyton, versus a player like a Myles Garrett or Zadarius, they're not going to get enough people out.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that last part. What you said, Dan? They gonna have to what?
If they have to help Guyton, they're not going to get enough people out to really hurt Cleveland's defense.
Yeah, that's why I talked about Dalvin Cook and Zeke, bro. Like, listen, you say those names and you think 10 years ago, you like, damn, that's the best backfield in the NFL. Yeah. But I don't think this team offensively is going to be able to have success if they don't establish a really healthy dose of play action. Right? Like asking Dak to be an athlete and extend plays, yeah, he can do that, but not at the level in which some of these guys that we know can. And you don't want to ask him to do that consistently. There has to be an emphasis put on keeping them in manageable down and distances. You and Mina talk about it, y'all get mad all the time. I don't care if it's run on first down or pass on first down. Do not get in 3rd and long against the Cleveland Browns. I don't care if you're Dallas or any other team in the NFL. Therein lies your problem.
You remember last year when Myles Garrett did the basketball crossover when he was lined up over the center? The Cowboys are going to start a rookie at center.
Okay, good luck on that.